about this team that excites you as we head into a new year?
It excites me that as a team we are more together than I feel like we've ever been.
What makes you guys together? What is it about that camaraderie that you have?
Just about everything we do together. Like, we see each other in the hallway. We're always stopping, trying to conversate. A little bit of everything.
You're a defensive lineman, correct?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this defense. Let's start there. What is it about this defense? I think it's 6 starters return on the defensive side. So what is it about this defense that characterizes you as a unit, and what has impressed you about this Garrett team defensively?
This defense has impressed me because just the way that we aggress through games and the way that we attack each play.
What would you say, besides aggressiveness, where are some of the strengths of this team, and who are some of the guys that you're going to be counting on this year to step into bigger roles on Friday nights when you play NECC football?
When I think about counting on people, I like to think about counting on the whole defense instead of like a particular spot or people.
And what has really been the focus in camp thus far? Obviously, you've gotten 5 days now. What has been the focus, especially defensively, for this Garrett football team?
Defensively is knowing our spots a little bit more, becoming more of a group and unit.
When you look at Garrett football, you think about the history. I mean, the 1974 state championship, you see that all the way around. Mm-hmm. Just winning football. It wasn't, gosh, it was probably only, 4 years ago you guys were in the semi-state game. How do you go back to getting this Garrett football program to the level that I think people expect you to be at and the level that you want it to be at?
I think we got to hold ourselves with more higher expectations to get back to where we used to be in 1974 state championship.
A final question, what are you most looking forward to about this upcoming season that we're actually going to get to play some football, man?
I'm just ready for football.
This team, you've been around this team, lifting, conditioning, all that good stuff. What is it that excites you about Garrett football as we enter 2020?
Our brothers, family. We're all conjoined together as a team. We all enjoy being with each other every day, especially with these 2 days where we have 7 hours of just being right by each other all the time. So it's just a team and the brothers that we have around us.
Let's talk about this team on the offensive side first. Where do you see as the strengths of this team? You returned 5 starters, but it looks like you're back there at the running back position, Seth's back there at the running back position. So in terms of guys that can carry the football, it seems like you guys are pretty well set. Yeah,
we're pretty well set in the backfield. We got a new QB that'll be a senior this year. We have a junior and a senior that are basically competing against ourselves to be the best they can for that spot. So, and then our line's pretty. They know what they're doing. They just got to keep on going, being better teammates for themselves and working together basically. So.
Because you and Seth have that experience on Friday nights, how much do you put it on you guys to kind of set the tone for what you do offensively?
We set the tone a lot in general because we know what we're doing, and when we get hyped up, everyone else gets hyped up as well. We usually hype up everyone else. So.
For you, I believe it was early on in week 2 where you suffered what was it? What kind of injury?
Ankle, or I broke my ankle. Fracture.
And you were out for the rest of the season.
Yep, I was out for the rest of the season.
So
yep.
How hungry does that make you to get back on the football field, especially as a senior, right?
Yes, especially as a senior. I'm very hungry to be back on the field, be able to play again, and just play my last year for everyone. So.
Perfect. Final question. What are you most looking forward to about getting back there out on the field?
Just getting the yards.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, thank you, my man. What do you like about this Garrett team as we enter a new football season?
You can see a really huge drive to compete. Everybody on the team likes to hit. Nobody's really shy from contact, and I really like that. I feel like that's one of the best aspects of football is going out there, being prepared to knock somebody's head. So we have a really good work ethic, and that's also what I like seeing. Everybody's willing to go out there and do what it takes to improve every single day, and each practice keeps getting better, so I have no complaints.
Yeah, last year record-wise, you guys were 3-7, which is it's kind of an un-Garrett-like record when you look at the history of and the success of this program in years past. So what do you guys need to do in your eyes to get this program back to the level of expectations where you're competing for a sectional championship, you're competing for a conference championship? What's the key in that?
So last season it came down to certain people didn't know what to do and when to do it and how to execute their job properly. We kind of straightened that out, but we also had a lot of new guys last year. We were trying to get everybody to not be so kind of timid on either side of the ball, get them actually wanting to go out there and make a play, make a stop, do something big, get everybody hyped up. Also, it had something to do with people not necessarily knowing how to take a loss. Like, yes, a loss sucks, but it is not the end. It is something that you learn from. You figure out what went wrong, how to fix it, go through next week, fix it, improve, and then continue on.
Good deal. Offensively, you guys have 5 starters back. You know, you got Christian and Gage competing for the quarterback position. So not a ton of experience there, but with you and Kolin in the backfield, that's where the experience lies for this offense. How much do you put it on you guys to set the tone for what you do offensively and make sure that the rest of the guys are ready for what it's like in a Friday night in the NECC?
So Kolin and I have had the privilege to be with each other since freshman year, always being in the backfield together. So we've kind of formed that bond to where I have his back, he has mine. We work together for the same goal. For the new guys, it'll be a little complicated to get into it at first because, like just saying, a Friday night football game for somebody that's never been in one before can be a little bit scary. It could be a little bit nerve-wracking. But then you just got to look to your left and right and it's like, okay, everybody on this side has my back. We're all going for the same thing. So I feel like that's eventually going to help them, knowing that we're all competing for the same goal. It's definitely helped me and Kolin, especially with me lead blocking for him on quite a few runs, just him knowing that I'm going to do my best to get everybody out his way and vice versa.
You're one of the leaders on the defense as well, so what is it about this defense that you like, and who are some of the guys that are going to be stepping into bigger roles for you guys defensively this year?
What I love about our defense is we're very hard-nosed. We like the contact. We'll get in there. We're not necessarily faster or anything like that, but we're fairly strong and we like to hit, so we're not going to be worn out anytime soon. So that's kind of our mentality. We're going to hit you harder than you hit us, and you're going to get tired, and we're not. Some people stepping into defense that are going to do some pretty great things, as they've done in the past year. Tyler Walden, he's going to be doing very good. Matthew William and Mark William, definitely going to be some big names on the defense. So far what I've seen in practice, they're pretty hard hitters. They like going out there, and they love doing whatever it takes. So I feel like those would be some guys to watch.
Final question from me. What are you most looking forward to about this season? Because a couple months ago we weren't sure if there was going to be football. There is. You guys have to be super excited to be out there on a Friday night, I would think.
Yeah. So it used to be where we were all wondering if this season would even happen, but now that we're getting it, we're just trying to prove to others and prove to everybody that this is kind of a redemption. We're just going to show that we were lucky enough to have the season. We're not going to let it go to a waste, and we're going to do what we want to do.
Well, I think every coach wants to see a team that is tight, and this has been a pretty cohesive bunch so far. Now, there hasn't been any kind of any issues to deal with yet. You know, we haven't been tested in any ways. You know, nothing that is nothing like a game will do. But they've been pretty tight so far. They have a lot of fun. They bring energy to practice. All those things coaches like to see. You know, I feel like we got a good blend of a little bit of size, a little more speed than usual, which is good because we have probably missed some explosiveness the last couple of years. I think maybe we got some of that now.
Defensively, obviously that helps out defensively. Tell me about this defense a little bit. Who are some of the guys that are stepping into larger roles? Who are some of the guys you're going to count on? And what do you see as being maybe the trademark or the biggest strength of this defense in the year?
You know, we don't do anything too complicated on defense, so we try to keep things simple so they can play a little bit faster. And like I said, having a little more speed, I think, will help us do that. But we're counting on Seth Van Wagner is going to be in his third-year starter as an inside linebacker. Tyler Walden, about a third-year starter as a defensive end. A couple guys that are going to do a lot for us. A lot of positions are still up for grabs right now. We've got a junior named Mark William, who will be a second year as an inside linebacker as well. And so we're going to build a lot around them, I hope.
You look at this offense, and you've got 5 starters returning, but you got to replace Levi at the quarterback position. However, in the offensive backfield, you know, Kolin was off to a great start last year before the injury, and Seth is kind of a bull back there. So
yeah.
How do those two guys kind of set the role, the tone, I should say, for what you do offensively, and who are some of the guys that are going to need to step into larger roles offensively?
Yeah. Having Kolin back right now is great. You know, he was primed to have a really fantastic junior season. Had a great game 1. Lost his season on the second play of the second game and had to watch. And that was tough on all of us. You know, it was tough to watch him go through that, and it really had a huge effect on our team. He was our most explosive player, so we just felt we were constantly last season trying to, you know, fill in parts around that we had already set in place before. So he's back and real healthy. You know, he does a lot for us, but, you know, Seth Van Wagner, you know, like I said, had a lot of yards for us last year as a thicker back, more of a power runner. And we're going to ask our quarterback position to do a lot for us that way too. So, and then there's another back or two that could get in the mix. So we've got a handful of options here, and hopefully it gives us a little bit more dynamic offense than you might have seen last year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have two guys kind of battling it out for the quarterback position. Who are they? What do they bring to the table?
Right now we have a returning senior named Gage Smith, who's probably right now the leading candidate. Christian Hess is a junior, also competing for the job. They're similar in some ways. They're both decent runners. They throw similarly. You know, right now the senior's ahead in the competition. We'll see how it plays out in the next week.
Final question. What's the key? I know 3-7 was the record last year. That is a kind of an un-Garrett-like record.
Yeah.
You know the history of this program better than maybe anybody else. The level of expectation, especially from, you know, the community and how much they support this football team. So, what is it going to take for this team to get back to that level? What's it going to take for these guys to get Garrett football back to the top, where you're competing for sectional championships, competing for conference titles?
Well, I wish that was a simple answer. Yeah, there's not one single thing that's going to change that. It's a combination of all the things it takes to make any season a good one. You know, we've all been pretty committed, even through the last 6 months of strangeness. You know, we've done what every other program's had to do to try to make it right. You know, so we've done all we could. You know, the kids are working their tails off, but we've got a good blend of kids. You know. Not a ton of seniors, but the right ones, and then a really large junior class that had a lot of playing time last year as sophomores, and they're ready to fill in as varsity players full time this year.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Roll big train.